Hello and welcome to Marketing and Margaritas. Today is a soundbite episode where we talk about FAQs, little tidbits, things we just thought we'd share with you. Random stuff. So today we are talking about networking,
Yes.
whether you're new to networking, whether you hate going and just be like, blah, totally understand. So my top tip for this...
I wonder how you feel about networking.
My top tip for this is to take a buddy. Jade disagreed with me when we were talking about the agenda for this.
I sure did.
Because your thoughts is...
Well, you go first. You say yours and then I'll say mine.
Well, if you're going to networking because you need to meet new people, yes, good for you. That's great. If you're procrastinating doing it because you're an introvert, you don't actually like talking to people and it's really hard, and you've already worked all day so you just want to go home, can totally relate. So my view is, how do you make that easier so you can get in there and at least a little bit? 5% is better than none. So that's my thoughts, and I would take a buddy.
Yeah, I think that a buddy is good if it gets you there originally.
Yeah.
And also if you need an accountability buddy. So like I am not adverse to that. My thing, I guess, is more just not to continually do that.
Don't rely on them.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it then becomes very easy practice to go, I'm not going to go to this because so-and-so is not available. Or because no one else is there to go with me. But also, because I do a lot of networking, I see that people who come with buddies will then be with them and not
just
actually talk to them. Yeah. So if you, and the same thing, like you can see people who are getting pushed to doing networking, you'll have like a bunch of all these different people in the one uniform in a corner together. Exactly. So if you are in a bigger group of staff, then really try and at least break up into smaller groups, because just think that if there's 5 of you in uniform standing in a circle,
intimidating.
No one is going to come talk to you.
Yeah.
So exactly, it's too intimidating. But if you do go with someone else, whether they're like a team member or not, is to at least don't be on the sides.
Yeah.
Go into the middle, because then other people will actually attach themselves to your little twosome.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people do is they'll go and they'll stand on the sides with just the two of them and talk, and no one is going to go talk to you.
Yay, we went to networking. We didn't meet anyone new.
I ticked a box. That's what marketing is, right? Ticking a box. Doesn't matter how well you do it.
When picking a buddy, find someone that knows other people. Because that's a great way. Like, I was
just say, I know where this is heading.
I tend to follow Jade around sometimes. Right-hand woman behind the scenes, I'll take it any day. But that's how I meet most of the people I meet. And now I know lots of people when I go out. So I've ticked that box and worked up to it.
You're welcome. Okay, so secondly is to be genuinely interested in other people.
Oh, I'm an introvert. That's not going to happen.
You don't interested in other people?
I'm done. I'll just go home.
See, I find it a lot easier to talk about other people than to talk about myself.
Yes, true.
And I think that, not that I don't do that a fuck ton as well, but...
And a lot of people do like talking about themselves, so...
Yeah, but it's also that sometimes it's more that you just think that when you go to networking, like you've got to be doing your elevator pitch or trying to make connections and, you know, letting people know what you do. This is about building my profile and whatever, and it's like... That's one way that some people do it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just know from my experience, my natural inclination is to actually ask other people questions and find out about what they do.
Yeah.
And then I've found a lot of success with that as well, is because, you know, if I ask someone questions, that makes them feel more comfortable because they can answer, as opposed to us both trying to like do elevator pitches at each other.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they'll naturally ask you questions, and you'll find it a lot easier to just answer questions than trying to just, you know, say things unprompted. So being genuinely interested in someone, being like, oh, you know, what is it that you do? Oh, why do you guys do it like that? Or how does that work? Or, oh, I've heard of something about that recently. Were you involved with blah, blah? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So get them talking about what they do. And like, I don't like people. I think people are annoying. But what people do for business, I find that actually genuinely very interesting. So that's a very easy tip for me. But I do think it really works well as well.
Yeah. You can have some preloaded questions. Like, I've literally got in the car, not just from networking things, from other things like school events, and been like, how did I not... I just was trying to talk to this person and I went totally blank. How did I not even ask them how their week was? Like,
As soon as I leave something, I'm just like, whoop, forgot all about it.
I'm just like, here's 5 questions you could have asked, you tool. Where were they an hour ago?
Does that lead you into your tip?
Well, that's a little sidetrack. It's more about having preloaded questions. Don't go around asking people the same 5 questions. Like, don't make it obvious. But if you're like, okay, I'm going to networking, this is some things I could ask about, these are current issues in the area or things that are affecting industry, just kind of have them top of mind might be helpful if you find it difficult to talk to people.
Yeah, 100%. Like I was doing this with someone the other day where it's like, I think I'm kind of used to being put on my feet.
Yeah.
So thinking of questions or answers or topics or whatever impromptu is not I don't think it's a big deal, but that's because it's pretty easy for me.
We're both very different personalities. This is a really good topic.
Whereas, yes, for people where you're sort of like, oh, I feel like I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a confidence thing, you might not use those questions, but if you know that you've got those questions, then you might relax a little bit more too. And I really think that, you know, being genuine with people, relax, like you're there to meet people and build connections. You're not there to do business, etc.
You're not on a sales pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Just relax and have a good time. And honestly, like half the people I do business with, like I've got some of my best friends from doing business.
Yep.
How, you know, fucking point, case in point.
And look, usually there's alcohol. That helps. Breaks the ice.
Yeah, up to a certain point.
That's the key there, yeah. All right, third point, because we're keeping it quick, is do your own promo without being a bit of a tool. So going off what I said about talking to other people, having those preloaded questions, is kind of having a bit of a pre-thought before you get there about what you're going to talk about. So is there recent projects you've worked on? Is there milestones or achievements that you and your business have had? So when they do go, how's things going at Rebel Nation? You can actually think about those couple of things on your feet if that's not how you already...
I think that's a really good point too, because it's sort of like if someone is going to, like, it's not that you can't just answer with, oh, things are really good, or
it's really busy at
the
moment,
or whatever. Like, that's not a bad answer.
It's not an open answer.
But it could be more.
Exactly.
So it's sort of like you go, oh, how are things going? Oh, awesome. We're actually working on this mammoth website at the moment that when we finish it is going to automate so much of the back end for our client. I'm super excited for it to launch.
Yeah.
Like, that's so much more... like gives them more of a sense about what you do, but it's also just more interesting, and they can then that gives them some fodder as well. Whereas if you're like, it's good, it's busy, then you know, what are they going to say back? Like, cool.
Better than being quiet.
That's it.
All right, and the last one is to have a business card. You go to a network event. If someone asks you for your details, they're not going to have a pen to write down your email or your phone number. You're not doing the sales pitch, but you just have them handy to hand out.
Exactly. Yeah, so I've gotten caught out quite a bit, especially recently, where I've met someone new and they're like, here's my card. And I'm like, cool, I will message you because I do not have a card on me. Another way of doing that too is if you don't want to have printed business cards, etc., is you can use like those social dots as well, which is just like a little plastic disc that you can stick on your phone, and people don't need software or whatever, they just tap it. And then it opens to a little mini landing page that has any details that you want on it, sort of thing.
Oh, that's so clever.
Yeah, it's like a really easy way of, that way they're not typing something into their computer or typing it into their phone from your printed business card. It can just be from that. I mean, even if you put the dots on like a business card and
that you
that
carry
way.
just one around, you don't need multiple. It's not multiple printing runs. You don't have to update print. Which is handy.
Exactly. And it's not like you have to throw things out if you move address or
you
whatever
change
like
stuff.
that. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, that dot can be an easy way of doing that too.
Oh, cool little tip. All right, well, I hope you got something out of it. Enjoy your next networking event. Take a buddy if you need.
And if we're there, say hello, especially to Alana. She loves it.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Marketing and Margaritas. Find more free marketing tips, tricks and laughs at rebelnation.com.au.